That was a long one. Alright, I'm gonna kick back, relax, hop on a few games. Alright, let's see what we got. What? No, I don't want to pay for that. Skip. No, I don't want your subscription. Next. Alright, what? Crashed. How could they have done this? What the f? What's up, everyone? It's the Virtual Viking, and today I'm going to be talking about something that's affecting all of us gamers, and that is, how are corporations ruining our favorite games and our favorite franchises?
What the hell is even that?
But let me know at the end if you want to see me cover more of this kind of thing, and let's dig down deep into the rabbit hole to see what went wrong. But first, we have to take a trip down memory lane to get to the bottom of this issue. Let's start this off with something that I know well, and that is some of the games of the past. Call it rose-tinted glasses, but when I was growing up, I was lucky enough to be coming up at a time where some of my favorite games were being made and released. My first games that I ever played, I still love to this day. Halo Combat Evolved, Star Wars Battlefront 2. No, not that one. Show me the real Battlefront 2. There we go. Perfect. Republic Commando, Resident Evil 4, it goes on and on. Games that I feel were classics. Now, it may have been being a child at the time, but it seems to me like back then, developers were making games that they'd actually want to play, and they were putting the love and care into it that it deserves. And most of those games to this day are still considered to be masterpieces around the board. And it felt like most games that came out were absolute bangers. And yes, while some were kind of just sucked a little bit, the devs weren't afraid to try out something new and weren't afraid to innovate. And even into the 360 and PS3 era, the games we were getting kept getting better and better. This is the time that I feel like was peak gaming, and to me it was also the first time that I played online. I've had many an all-nighter hanging out with the crew and having a Halo Reach night or a COD Zombies game with full lobbies of friends. These are the days that I think back on the most when I look at the sky and proudly exclaim that I'm a gamer, regardless of all the disgusted looks I got from every crush that I had in high school. It was a rough few years. I mean, look at the games of that era. Around the same time, we got Halo Reach, Black Ops 2, Modern Warfare 2, Skyrim, Dark Souls, GTA 5, the list goes on and on. And think about how those games are still universally loved. What changed in the modern era? While yes, we still get good games from time to time, they don't feel anywhere near as great or as polished as they did in the past. When did the focus shift from making a great game to just trying to squeeze out every little drop of money they can get from the consumer? And the first incident of this was something so small that it almost could have slipped out of notice. But as we know,
it is such a quiet thing to fall.
Now, the first time a game started implementing a microtransaction was small, yet even a pebble can start a tsunami. The first reported microtransaction in a game came from none other than the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Shocking, I know. Now, in 2006, when Oblivion was released, as many people probably know where this is going, you could spend a whole $2.60 to purchase horse armor as a cosmetic.
Stop right there, criminal scum! Nobody breaks the law in my watch!
A very small thing, but the idea was much more nefarious as Bethesda implemented this to toe the water, as it were, on what the market reaction would be to this sort of thing. And as sales went up, other developers caught on to this tactic, and it spread like wildfire. Now it's hard to find a game that doesn't have a purchasable skins option, loot box, or a battle pass system. Money talks, and developers now just wanted a piece of the pie. And to amplify this, gaming was much more popular than it ever was. No longer the nerd in mom's basement trope. Just about everyone was getting on board. In 2015, in a report published by the Pew Research Center, It states that by 2015, about 49% of American adults reported that they played games on home consoles. And by 2017, this number reached 214.4 million people who were actively gaming. And with this amount of people flowing in, it was only a matter of time before companies who were once made of gamers themselves were replaced with people in suits cracking down on devs to finish that next Call of Duty title. No longer were all games pieces of art made lovingly by a dev that would want to play this game themselves. Now popular titles were just dollar signs waiting to be shoved out to the masses, which gets us into modern times, where a lot of what we get just doesn't feel polished, with many notable games that release unfinished and bare bones to be updated and patched later. Hell, now it's easier to list games that don't have microtransactions as opposed to all the ones that do. And now I'm sure a lot of people are watching this and saying, well, thank you, Viking, this is very depressing. Because it is. But fear not, fellow gamers. Now we have hope on the horizon. And there may just be a way to fix all of this. See, 2023 was also a year of something that I felt could be a turning point, and the biggest act of defiance that the gamers had to the corporations, where people finally said, I've had enough. And I'm speaking, of course, of Battlefield 2042. Now, to those who don't know this infamous story, this Battlefield title was released with a lot of hype and empty promises, with a lot of people ordering this for close to $80 pre-order, only to be let down harder than my parents when they watch these videos. Sorry, guys. When Battlefield 2042 released, the game was a mess, being full of bugs, glitches, crashes. There were these bright flashes so bright that they had to release an epilepsy warning. It was a mess. Hell, the game didn't even release with a scoreboard or an in-game chat, which now has become an infamous announcement that EA made calling these legacy features. Yet, after this, something truly marvelous happened, in that people striked and refused to play this game, leaving EA with egg all over their face. As 4 months after the game's launch, it only had an active player base of about 4,000. People had finally had enough now, and the game has been trashed so much that it's free on the Game Pass, and when I went to GameStop last, I saw this game on the shelf for $10. $10! This is one of the hardest falls I've ever seen a AAA studio take, and yet it was still a win for the gamers. One can still feel a slight wind of change coming for all of us. All we have to do is remain vigilant. And why do I feel this? Well, in recent times we've seen the rise and the fall of loot box systems. And while yes, it was replaced with another system, it was still a start. And still, I consider it to be a win for us. We've also seen, as more people refuse to play games that are broken and just released not even finished, we see more people playing games that were genuinely made very well, and we see some more love coming back to the craft that we all enjoy. In conclusion, while yes, I feel that gaming has changed, I do always believe that the power is in the hands of the consumer, or at least in our wallets. And if we band together, take down the bad, and uplift the good, I believe that in time we will see games made again by developers who truly care, and we will get the works of art that inspire the love of fans for years to come. There you go. I had to add that in there so that way people don't leave this video feeling depressed. But now I want to hear, what do you guys think? Is there another topic you'd like to see me cover? Please let me know down below, and hey, while you're down there, please consider hitting that like and subscribe. I look forward to making more content for you guys, but that's all I have for today. And remember, guys, I'm the Virtual Viking, and I am out.